Rivalries, attento a scintille, si accende subito il derby, si accende subito anche dal punto di vista agonistico con Adli che andrà a dire qualcosa.
He's been booked for that's a red card and Paredes has done it again. This is going to be a long suspension, I suspect.
Football is the world game. It's built on communities, colours and sheer passion. It's not just a sport, but a way people connect, finding common ground with friends, family and even strangers. Another thing this sport is built on is competition. Whether it's a turf war between neighbouring cities or simply proving your team is better, the game doesn't exist without rivalry. And that brings us to today's video, counting down the top 5 biggest rivalries in world football. These clashes go way beyond the pitch, fueled by history, identity, and at times, deep-rooted hatred and social issues. So without further ado, let's kick things off with number 5. For 5th place, we start in Turkey with the Intercontinental Derby and the Battle of Istanbul between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce. This isn't just two clubs fighting for Istanbul, it's literally two continents colliding. Galatasaray are based on the European side of the city, while Fenerbahce represent the Asian region of Turkey's capital. The fans of these two clubs make up approximately 70% of the fan base in the Super League, with the rivalry going back more than a century. Notorious for being one of the most anticipated matches in the footballing calendar, it gets very heated, literally, both on the pitch and in the stands. Featuring a long-winded history ingrained in the tradition of the city, it is an absolute bucket list item for any esteemed football fan. So expect red cards, pitch invasions, flares, fireworks, and just about everything in between at this fixture. And as they say, no pyro, no party. When you think of football rivalries, El Clasico is probably the first one that comes to mind. Real Madrid versus Barcelona isn't just Spain's two biggest clubs, it's politics, it's culture, it's history. For the Catalonia region of Spain, Barca represents resistance and regional pride. Home to arguably the greatest and most prestigious academy in world football, La Masia, and for Real Madrid, it's the capital of the nation, an emblem that oozes class and speaks volumes about their dominance and power in world football. Add in legends like Messi, Cristiano, Ronaldo Nazario, Zidane, Raul, Figo, Ronaldinho, I could keep going. It's a rivalry that consistently delivers some of the greatest games and moments in football history, not just in domestic football, but throughout continental football also. Since the days of legends like Johan Cruyff, these two clubs have been the benchmark across the world. We've seen as much as pig heads thrown on the pitch, the sort of scenes you just won't see at any other football game. It's due to this rivalry, it has become every footballer's dream to play for either of these two great clubs. Number 3 takes us to Scotland and the clash of Celtic versus Rangers in the Old Firm derby. Now, I can already hear the complaints about the competitiveness aspect and that both clubs play each other roughly 4 times a year. On the surface, it's Glasgow bragging rights, but dig a bit deeper and it's entirely about religion, politics and identity, making this one of the most malicious, violent and chaotic rivalries in world football. Backstory: Celtic traditionally represent the city's Catholic and Irish community, while Rangers are tied to the Protestant and Unionist side. So why did this seep into world football? Well, teams reflect community, identity, fans live vicariously through their favourite players on the pitch, and the first instance of this was first seen in the 1980 Scottish Cup final between the two sides, where Celtic won the match 1-0. But afterwards, riots ensued, with rival fans battling on the Hampden Park pitch. It took as much as mounted police attempting to defuse the brawl. Fans threw bricks, bottles and cans, as well as iron bars and whatever else they could find, as weapons. This all resulted in over 100 people injured, as well as 200 arrested, in what is considered one of the darkest days in Scottish football. This all resulted in the sale of alcohol being banned at sporting events in Scotland. Since then, it has become highly regarded as one of the most intense atmospheres that you'll ever see. We leave Europe now for the first time on this list for Argentina, where one of the fiercest football rivalries lives between the country's two biggest clubs, Boca Juniors and River Plate. These two teams habit the nation's capital of Buenos Aires, and the scenes that occur at this fixture are pure chaos. There are genuinely no other words to describe it, and I mean that in the best way possible. Known as the Super Classico, it's not just about football, it's about identity. Boca is tied to the working class roots of Buenos Aires, while River has a long carried reputation of being the club for the wealthy. Whether they play at Boca's iconic La Bombonera Stadium or River's Estadio Monumental, the ground is always rocking from the sheer noise, as well as flares, confetti, streamers, and smoke grenades. It has gotten to the stage where kickoff has been delayed due to the sheer volume of the fans, as seen in the 2019 Copa Libertadores semi-final. FIFA has also called it the most intense derby in the world, and honestly, they might be right. Each time these sides play, the stadium looks like pyrotechnics from a concert. It's crazy and one of the many football games on my personal bucket list, but doesn't quite crack my #1 spot. Now time for a few honourable mentions. I'm not going to get into them too much because there are a lot. The English ones that I had were Manchester United vs Liverpool, the Merseyside, North London, Manchester, Black Forest, Tyware, Sheffield, South Coast derbies, as well as Millwall vs West Ham. As for the rest of Europe, I have Sparta vs Slavia Prague, Roma vs Lazio, Ajax vs Feyenoord, Red Star vs Partizan Belgrade, Olympiacos vs Panathinaikos, PSG vs Marseille, Porto vs Benfica, the Derby d'Italia, and finally the Madrid derby. And in at #1, I feel like if you're a football fan, there is one glaringly obvious rivalry that has not yet been mentioned, and that is the Derby della Madonnina, better known as the Milan derby between Inter Milan and AC Milan. Few rivalries combine history and passion quite like this one. The one thing that is very special about Inter vs AC is that they share the San Siro as their home ground. But that's where the similarities end between the fan bases, as they couldn't be more divided. Originally a uniform club called the Milan Cricket and Football Club, they split in 1908 over a disagreement about signing foreign players. AC Milan wanted to keep things homegrown and Italian, while the breakaway club Internazionale embraced being open to players from abroad. That split shaped the DNA of the rivalry. Culturally, AC Milan is seen as the emblem of the city's working class, while Inter historically have attracted more affluent and international supporters. Over time, both clubs have become giants of world football, conquering Italy, Europe, and then the world. One thing is for sure though, that Inter is the little brother of AC, holding 7 Champions League titles to Inter's 1. On the pitch, the Milan derby has delivered unforgettable moments. Andriy Shevchenko's goals, Marco Materazzi's battles, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and many other players over the course of history switching sides, and even the infamous 2005 Champions League semi-final, where the entire city of Milan was split down the middle. The San Siro crowd is absolutely breathtaking, famous for its choreography, massive tifos, with the stadium red and black on one side and blue and black on the other. When these two collide, it isn't just a match, it's each side of Milan fighting for their pride. And that's why for me, it is hands down the greatest rivalry in world football. And that's all I had for today's video. If you liked this style of content, let me know in the comments, and let me know what sort of video you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next one.